What is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Brian, and I just wanted to do a story, my personal story about how I got into becoming a quit alcohol coach. All right, so I grew up in a small town in New Jersey. I have a long history with addiction. I had a lot of my friends that overdosed and died like when I was growing up. And so addiction is very close to my life. And I've been impacted by it on many different levels. Not just alcohol addiction, but opiates, benzodiazepines, and other drugs, cocaine. So the main reason that I started this channel is it took me years and years to get sober. And I studied all of the material. I went to AA. I studied all the books I got, and here's a list of all the great alcohol books. Russell Brand's Recovery, Alan Carr, How to Quit Alcohol, Rewire Your Brain, and there's a couple more that I can't think of off the top of my head. The Unexpected Joy of Being Sober. That's a good one. And there's one more really good one that I know that I'm missing. But I think I'm actually going to come out with my own book that's going to try to combine spirituality, a little bit of neuroscience, sort of like these other ones that are out there, and then kind of put it into a new age, not new age, but a new format, a cutting edge format. All right, I don't want to use the word new age because that's got a bad connotation around it. A cutting edge format. So anyway, my personal history with addiction is growing up, I was, did the typical party lifestyle, drink a keg of beer, drink a case of beer, go out and party, have, live it up, man, live it up, go to the clubs. Like I grew up in the 90s when I was a teenager, so we would all go to the clubs, take a bunch of acid, take a bunch of MDMA, go to the, listening to the dance music, getting with girls, jumping around the club, acting crazy. And, we had a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie. It was fun. But once I noticed that something changed once we got into our 20s, like early to mid 20s, things started to change. People started to graduate to harder drugs. And then a lot of my friends were becoming addicted with these highly addictive substances like opiates and cocaine. And I'll never forget, one of my friends, he convinced me to smoke coke one time, and that's how he sold it to me. He was like, "Oh, come on, man, we're just gonna smoke a little bit of coke, right?" Because if you say that instead of say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna smoke some crack," that sounds bad. But if you say, "Oh, we're just gonna smoke a little coke, man," it's like that one movie where he's like, "Come on, just a little cocoa puff, little cocoa puff." A movie with John Goodman. Anyway, don't want to get too far off track. So I grew up in this town where a lot of people were using and abusing drugs. I became a drug abuser myself, and I started looking for answers. And the number one thing that helped me was getting out of the environment. Because when you're in an environment and you have these relationships built with people, you're used to acting out the same routine. You're used to jumping in your car, going down to your friend's house, getting your little stuff, sitting there, hanging out, talking crap. But when you break out of your routine and get into another environment where you don't know anybody, that's going to change your routine. Now, of course, you can still find your stuff no matter where you go if you're resourceful, but it's going to make it harder. It's going to add an extra barrier to that. All right, so the way that I see it is, people say drugs and alcohol. Alcohol is a drug, first and foremost. Oh, there's one other good book too called The American Drug Addict. That's a really good one, American Drug Addict. So basically, through all these books, the main message is that the core of addiction is a feeling of unworthiness and a feeling of depression and boredom, and you're just trying to fill that lack. There's something lacking in your life, and you're trying to fill the hole with some type of substance, right? It's because you're not facing your problems. You're trying to escape your problems. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not eating what you're supposed to eat. You're not exercising regularly. You're not working at your job. You're not working at your relationships. It's a cop-out method. It's a cop-out. All right, so anyway, back to my personal story. So I drank for several years, or I was sober for several years. I had periods of sobriety where I stopped smoking marijuana because I always did that as a staple. You know, that's like the central staple. And now when I'm older, when I was younger, I did not believe that marijuana was a gateway drug. But now that I'm older, I do think that it definitely can be a gateway drug for a lot of people. But it doesn't have to be at the same time. It doesn't have to be a gateway drug. So back to my story. So I just kept going through all these motions of trying to quit, wanting to quit, but I was never able to conquer the compulsion to the compulsion to use. Right? It's just built into your brain. It just felt like there was someone else in there that was like sending me this signal: go to the liquor store, go to the liquor store, go get beer, go get beer. And then finally, once I was able to finally quit, I had this realization, and this is what I've been putting into my guided meditations that's on this channel. I had this internal realization where the split-mindedness of addiction finally stopped. And the realization was this. It was, if I'm not the one that wants to drink, then who is it that wants me to drink? Because that's what I kept battling with, was this internal split-mindedness, was the me that wanted to drink and then the me that didn't want to drink. And finally, after years and years, the me that didn't want to drink anymore, the me that wanted the better life, finally was able to win. It was like two wolves inside fighting. Some people may have heard that wolf quote about inside you have two wolves, a black wolf and a white wolf, and whichever one you feed is going to become more powerful, and then that's going to be able to defeat the other wolf, and then that one will win. So my whole method of quitting alcohol coaching and training is going to be focusing on feeding that white wolf. And here's what I'm going to tell you right off the bat. It's extremely difficult. Like, it's damn near impossible is what it feels like when you're going through it. It is very, very difficult. All right, that's number one. Number two is you need to feed that white wolf with as much material as you can get. I'm talking read every single book, watch every single video. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the content creator. Yeah, I'm on the other side of it now, so I do want you to watch my material, but I want you to watch all the material that you can get your hands on. And that's why I created this channel, is because when I was going through this, I was looking for all this material. And yeah, there is a lot of good material out there, but there wasn't really the type of material, enough of the content that I wanted to see. Like more jokes, more less of a serious nature, more, I'm still going to be serious, but there wasn't enough like comedy focused stuff and like just a little bit more lighthearted stuff. Everything just felt heavy to me. It was like, oh yeah, you're going to die from liver disease. You're going to die from alcoholic lung disease. You're just going to go broke. You're going to lose your house or lose your car. I mean, it sounded like a damn country song. At some point, I just wanted somebody that sounded like a hard-ass motivational speaker that would just come up and be like, listen, you little jackass, stop drinking or you're going to die. Or just something like that was like over the top, but a little bit like had a nice comedic edge to it. Right? Like, that's the type of content that I personally wanted to see. So that's the type of content that I'm going to try to focus on making. And of course, I'm still going to have my other types of content based on what other people like. And I'm going to do it as an entertainer to the YouTube algorithm. So I'm going to make more content based on what people want to see. So it's not just going to be what I want, right? It's just what I want to make. Anyway, out of this long-winded intro. So thanks for checking out the channel. Please, I'm going to have comments disabled because I had channels in the past where I had unpleasant interactions with people, and no offense, I'm sorry to everybody that wants to interact with me and ask me questions, but I'm just going to create the content. I'm going to put it out there and leave it out there. And that's it. So if you find a benefit from it, thanks. And you know, you don't have to thank me. Just thank me by getting sober. All right. Just get sober, stay sober, get on the other side of this. And then you can be the one that creates the content for the next people. This next generation coming up is going to need it, man. We need all the people available who can get out there and create the content to get this next generation sober. We need more sober people. We need more sober people in this world. All right. The marketing angle, the marketing budgets are too high. So back to my revelation, my personal revelation. I had this revelation that if it wasn't me that wanted to drink, the real me didn't want to drink, right? So if it wasn't me that wanted to drink, then who was it that wanted me to drink if it wasn't me? And then I came up with this idea that it's these marketing messages, it's marketers that want me to drink. It's a third-party corporation that wants me to drink. And that black wolf has been fed since you were a child by these billion-dollar corporations with giant marketing budgets who are convincing you to drink. You have all these signals from watching all these shows, you know, from watching that show Mad Men, where they're constantly glorifying alcohol, sipping whiskey, watching this show Yellowstone, where, you know, Beth is drinking, they're drinking. Yeah, they're all good shows, right? But my point is, it's baked into our culture, and we're fed these subconscious messages on a daily basis to the point where it's just so ingrained that you don't even notice it anymore. That's why that black wolf is so powerful. You don't even have to think about it anymore. You just know, oh yeah, just jump in the car and go get a fifth of whiskey. That's what I do every day, right? Just jump in the car and go to 12 pack. Jump in the car and go get a case. That's just what I do, right? I'm going to work. I'm bringing a case of beer with me. I'm going to go frame a house and drink a case of beer. That's how I do it. Right? It's baked into the culture. So what you have to do is reconcile this split-mindedness that's in your head, where the white wolf is losing the battle. The white wolf is getting killed in there, guys. So you have to go and feed your mind, feed the white wolf with all the best material that you can find, and combine it all into one giant tapestry of anti-alcoholism content, and then feed that white wolf until the point where you finally realize that it's not the real you that wants you to drink, and then you're finally going to be able to stop drinking once that white wolf finally overpowers that black wolf, and then that's when you can finally achieve sobriety. All right, guys, it's a long, hard road, so buckle the hell up, but you can do it. You're up for it. All right, so let me know. Well, I would say let me know if you have any questions, but the comments are disabled, so just keep watching and watch all the other content that you can find on this topic. Go to meetings if you have to, but get it done, guys. You can do it. All right, thanks for watching, and see you.